Here's what's cooking on today's Sports Stove Football Show. We've got college football picks. We have NFL picks and Joe Flacco, the savior of Cincinnati. That's what's cooking on today's Sports Stove Football Show. Welcome into an all-new edition of the Sports Stove Football Show on the Belly Up Sports Network, presented by Righteous Felon Jerky. Join the flavor revolution at righteousfelon.com and use the promo code STOVE15. You're going to get 15% off your purchase. All right, friends, we are back for another week of exciting football, both the college and the NFL level. I'm Vince Stover, joined as I am every week by my dad, Dale Stover. Dad, how you doing?
Doing good. Like I said, we're well in the football season here, and both college and pro and fantasy and everything there. So, yeah, looking forward. A lot of interesting things happening. Of course, a lot of injuries, so that makes for a lot of moving around. And we'll see what we got here.
Yeah, even an NFL trade that went down just moments ago. We'll talk about that later on. And so here we go. Let's get into college football first. And let's just jump right into our picks. Several good games, exciting games this week in the college football world. Let's start in the Big Ten. Number 7, Indiana travels to Oregon. Number 3, Oregon. Oregon over a touchdown favorite in this, 7.5-point favorite in this game. Indiana obviously has looked really good again. Mendoza, he's starting to look like QB1 in the draft this year. Like, there's all kinds of good things coming out of Indiana. But Oregon, I mean, goodness, they're looking pretty good too. And Dante Moore at quarterback. And the things they're doing there in Eugene are pretty impressive as well. I was a little surprised to see 7.5 points on this one. But other than that, I wasn't surprised to see Oregon as the favorite, being that they're at home especially. So I've got Oregon in this game, Dad, but I think it's going to be a close game. How do you feel about Oregon, Indiana?
Yeah, I think being at home, it'll be Oregon. I think Indiana maybe will come down to earth just a little bit here, but it could be a very good game. If they can play Oregon tight out at Oregon, then Indiana is going to be a factor, with everybody they play coming down the line here. But Oregon's looked awfully good the times I've seen them. And, I think Oregon will win this one, but this will be interesting to watch.
Sure. All right, let's go out west. Let's stay out west, I guess, and let's go to BYU. Number 18, undefeated BYU, travels down to Arizona, who's been playing some really good football as of late. BYU is a 1.5-point favorite on the road. Are you taking the Cougars or are you taking the Wildcats in this one?
Yeah, I'll stay with BYU again as the ranked team there, and again, could be a good ball game, but I'll go with BYU.
All right, I will go opposite of you on this one. I like the home team. I think Arizona's been playing some really good football, and I expect that they're going to continue. I think being at home is a huge positive here for Arizona. So give me Arizona in this game over the ranked BYU. I think BYU may be a little bit of fool's gold there, in my opinion, at the very least. All right, let's go south to Alabama and Missouri. Alabama, number 8, they've been playing really good football. Also, Missouri, number 14, just kind of that sneaky, consistent program as of late. Mizzou has been. Alabama, 2.5-point favorites on the road in this one. You go on Alabama or Missouri?
Yeah, I went back and forth a lot on this one, but I'll go with Alabama, even though they're on the road. Big game for Missouri. If Missouri's going to establish themselves, for the SEC hunt going down the line here. But I watched Alabama play a couple times in last week, and I think they'll be able to handle themselves there in Columbia.
Yeah, you just spent a week in Alabama. You maybe had the rat poison, as it was told back in the day by old Coach Saban. Yeah, I'm going to go Mizzou on this one too. I think home, this is a big opportunity for Missouri to kind of establish themselves as, I mean, coming into the year, they were looked at as a really good team. Alabama, since the Florida State game, obviously they've looked much better and played much better, but there's still something there that has me questioning Alabama a little bit. And this feels like the kind of game they could slip up on. So I'm going to go Missouri at home in this one instead of Alabama. All right. This is a game, Dad, that a lot of people will not watch, but it has potential to be one of the better games of the weekend. South Florida travels to North Texas. USF is number 24 in the nation. North Texas is unrecognized by many, many people. But North Texas is the home favorite in this one. 1.5-point favorite over the ranked South Florida. Dad, are you going USF or North Texas?
Well, I'm going to go with USF because, they've been playing well, but I looked a little bit at North Texas, doing well also. I've seen North Texas over the years a lot because they were in the same conference, a Conference USA there with MTSU for a long time. But USF seems to be the real thing. This could be quite a game, and I guess it makes sense. North Texas is favored at home.
Yeah, and I'm going with North Texas at home as well. I like the fact that Vegas has them favored, even though it's only by 1.5 points. USF is good. They've played very well. I respect them, but I think what the problem is here is because people haven't seen North Texas, they're not getting the respect they deserve. The way they're playing, the team they have this year is incredible. So I'm going to take North Texas at home. I'm kind of leaning towards home teams this week overall. So we'll go there. All right, last game that we're picking is number 15 Michigan at USC. USC unranked, but a 2.5-point favorite at home. And I think we're getting close to the questioning, if we're probably already questioning the hot seat there in USC. How long can Lincoln Riley last without some big wins? Beating a number 15 team would go a long way in helping him, but can he do it, Dad? You taking Michigan or USC this week?
Well, I'm going to go with USC again. I'm not a Michigan fan, and of course they are favored. USC is at home, so we'll see. Kind of where Michigan's at here, like you said. USC, definitely needs the win there. So I'll go with the home team on this one with USC.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to go with the road team this time. I'll go with Michigan. I think that they just know who they are. Their identity is set. And even with the freshman quarterback, he's not elite yet. He may get there, but I think Michigan understands very clearly who they are. And I think USC is desperate, which can be good. It can also be bad. So I'm going to go with the road team in this one and the road underdog in Michigan. All right, so we're split pretty well this week. We agree on Oregon over Indiana, but we're split everywhere else. I've got Arizona. Dad has BYU. I have Mizzou. Dad has Bama. I have North Texas. Dad has South Florida. And I'll go Michigan. Dad will go South Carolina this week. Dad, the rankings overall have kind of, worked themselves out in a lot of ways. There's not a whole lot to argue, I don't think. I still don't understand why Notre Dame is getting the respect that they're getting in the rankings. But is there anything that stands out to you in the rankings that is questionable or concerning to you in the rankings right now?
Well, you talked about it a few weeks ago, and we knew it was going to happen. Notre Dame was going to keep moving up, and that's a little, surprising, but it's not either because it's Notre Dame. Again, in the next couple of weeks, things are going to shake out because some of these teams in the lower part of the top 25, are going to lose, or they're really going to jump up. I looked at it and I thought, who would have thought Vanderbilt could lose a game and still be in the top 20. So, but they looked good. I thought they were going to win over the weekend there. So, again, a lot of teams it's going to start clearing out a little bit here down the line as we go. Looks like the SEC is going to continue to be very dominant, but we'll see some big games.
Yeah, the SEC is going to be eating its own here over the next 4 weeks. There's a lot of, big games against top teams, and it's going to be crucial for the SEC, for some of these teams to establish themselves. You got teams like Tennessee, LSU, Georgia, that if they lose a game, that's going to push them back. If they lose 2 games, they're probably getting pushed out. Vanderbilt, same way as well in that. So it's intriguing to watch. Again, you look at Missouri. If Missouri wins this week against Alabama, now they're a top 10 team. Oklahoma, they've got an absolute ridiculous schedule. That's what we thought coming into the year. Now they're playing Texas in the Red River rivalry nowadays. And, this game at one time was, oh my goodness, Oklahoma, how are they going to do it? Well, now can Texas do it? It's so weird to see that flip, even though Texas is the favorite in that game against Oklahoma, which is intriguing as well. But then Oklahoma has South Carolina. That game isn't quite as big as we thought it could be, I guess. Then you got the Ole Miss game, the Tennessee game, the Alabama game, the Missouri game, and the LSU game to end the year for Oklahoma. Oklahoma does not get a breather the rest of the way. And they look like they're ready for it. We'll see how they do in that. Texas A&M, I said it in our SEC preview. This is their year. They've got everything they need, coupled with low expectations from the outside compared to the past several years where they had the high expectations from the outside and couldn't meet them. Now they've got low expectations from the outside, and they're exceeding them. I love to see what I'm seeing out of A&M. Ole Miss is my big surprise team in the SEC, Dad. I'm shocked that they're still undefeated. They're at number 4 in the nation. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them, but they're there. And then, of course, outside of the SEC, you got Ohio State at 1, Miami at 2, Oregon at 3. And I think Oregon's the best team out of those 3. But we'll see how that one shakes out too. A lot of fun games this weekend, and really, for the most part, the rest of the way, we're going to have a full slate of exciting games each and every week there in college football. All right, Dad, anything else college football related you want to discuss? Obviously, Penn State dropped out. Texas dropped out of the top 25. You spent the week with a Penn State fan. I'm assuming there wasn't a whole lot of Penn State conversation going on down there.
No, there was a lot of conversation, but it wasn't real positive. So, they didn't agree with a lot of the calls they were making. But no, that's true. Penn State, I think Penn State and Texas both were surprised. We are surprised at this point of the season that they have dropped out.
Right.
But again, like you said, the good SEC and the Big Ten, they're just they're gonna beat themselves up, and so it just depends. It gives other teams a chance to really, stay up there. So we'll see.
All right, let's see. Let's transition to the NFL. Before we do, a reminder: today's program is presented by Righteous Felon Jerky. Phenomenal flavor, incredible texture. You will not go wrong with Righteous Felon Jerky. You order your next favorite flavor at righteousfelon.com. If you use the code STOVE15, you're going to get 15% off your purchase. All right, Dad, let's start with some NFL news. A couple of trades happened this week. Joe Flacco heads to Cincinnati from Cleveland. So we're talking about the AFC North trading within itself. And the Bengals said, listen, I think this is what they're doing, Dad. I think the Bengals are going to make a trade or pick up every week to pick up someone who beat the team they're getting ready to play. So Joe Flacco beats the Packers, and so they said, let's go get Joe Flacco, and next week they'll move on to someone else. We talked a little bit about this on the Tuesday show, but give me your thoughts on Joe Flacco to Cincinnati, and how much does it help them? What kind of difference does that make for them?
Yeah, and again, I heard a lot of your comments on the Tuesday show. I'm probably not as negative on this as a lot of those comments were. Joe Flacco is probably not going to take them to the playoffs. He is an improvement over what they had, and I think he is the kind of guy that can give some stability there. I don't think they were going to be able to go out and get, a quarterback. And again, it's a tough situation because when Burrow comes back,
Yeah.
he will be the guy. Joe Flacco has filled that role for many, many teams.
Yeah.
I'll have to admit, a little surprising to trade right there in the division, like they did. But I think if I think it was probably a good thing for them. Be interesting this week because again, he's not the most mobile, and Packer defense. I know the plans would be to be able to bring a lot of pressure. So we'll see where it goes in the next few weeks. The question will be if he can help them win in the division.
Yeah. Yeah, the division's open right now, for sure, in the North. An interesting stat for you, Dad. Micah Parsons has 4 solo tackles on the season in Green Bay. Jamar Chase has 5 solo tackles this year for the Bengals, off of Jake Browning interceptions. So interesting there. Jamar Chase has more solo tackles than does Micah Parsons this season. So they'll match up against each other this week. We'll see who gets more tackles this week, whether it's Micah Parsons or Jamar Chase of the Bengals. Another trade went down here this afternoon. Jaguars and Browns flip cornerbacks. Tyson Campbell from the Jaguars heads to Cleveland, and Greg Newsome goes from Cleveland to Jacksonville. So just a little move there, a trade of all kinds of stuff going on there as well. Thank you for tuning in to the episode. Kevin Wilson's tuning in. He comments, all 3 of us, me, Kevin, and Dad, are more mobile than Joe Flacco. Kevin, you've never seen my mobility. I might still give it to Joe Flacco in that case. But yes, it's an intriguing addition for Cincinnati. Dad, coaching hot seats as well. We've talked about it before, but man, that Arizona situation this weekend with Jonathan Gannon, he slapped his player on the chest twice, out of anger, and they lost the game to the Titans, and all kinds of things going on. We already know the Dolphins. I mean, if they lose one more, I can't imagine McDaniels is still around. But I think Arizona has vaulted their way up to the hot seat right now with Jonathan Gannon too. Any thoughts on the coaching security right now in the NFL?
Well, there's a lot of teams. I think there's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams that could actually be in question. Probably 5 or so that are real, right up there in the front. College football has not been slow at making the change. They move quickly. Be interesting in the NFL once somebody starts to go, where there'll be a lot of movement there. And again, maybe some of these teams, like I heard you say that, rookie quarterbacks might give people a little bit more time. And some of these do have rookie quarterbacks that have potential to come on. But 2 or 3 of them you don't see any way they can stay around next year. So, do they keep them this year, or do things just get worse if they do? I don't know.
What do you feel about John Harbaugh in Baltimore? I was on record 4 years ago saying they needed to fire John Harbaugh, and then they came back around. And now I'm sitting here looking at it again going, my goodness, like, what are they doing? I cannot understand why they're so bad this season, why Derrick Henry's so bad this season, why they thought Cooper Rush was the right backup quarterback in the offseason. Like, I do not understand what's happening in Baltimore. Do you think John Harbaugh is safe because of what he's done there? Or do you think he's in danger? Because I haven't put him on my hot seat list yet, because I just kind of feel like he's entrenched there. But is he someone that's going to find himself without a job in Baltimore this year?
Yeah, he was one of the guys that I think is in trouble, especially the way Baltimore is playing right now. I think it'll be a little bit more of a mutual time for a change for both people. As
Yeah.
far as him getting fired and leaving kicking and screaming, I don't know that that would be the case with John Harbaugh, or he deserves that. I do think he would probably get a chance somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously they didn't make some of the adjustments they need to make. Early in the year, it looked like Baltimore would be the team in the division, but now, now it's really hard to pick them in games. So we'll see where it goes. The division does help them a little bit. They can
Yeah.
rebound potentially, but if they lose a couple division games, then they're not gonna come back.
So who wins the AFC North? You got Pittsburgh at 3-1 with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. You got the Bengals at 2-3 now with Joe Flacco at quarterback. You got the Ravens at 1-4 with no doubt the best quarterback in the division, and Lamar Jackson banged up, but still the rest of the team gracious. And then you've got Cleveland, who's now gone to Dylan Gabriel. They're 1-4 also. So who wins the AFC North? Is it Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to come down. It looks like them and Pittsburgh again. The Bengals got lucky and won a couple close games early, and so that's really helping them at this point. So Baltimore, I would have thought a week or two ago, yeah, they've had a little rough skid, but they'll come out of it. But it doesn't look like that's the way it is. And what, Lamar Jackson's not playing this week, right? So,
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's man. If I was a betting man, and I'm not, I would still put my money on Baltimore just because of the whole roster. But it's not good. If Rodgers stays healthy, there's no reason why they can't limp their way into winning the division this year with the way the rest of the division is. So you having that head start is a big thing for Pittsburgh right now. Veteran team, veteran coach, Super Bowl MVP winning quarterback. There's Pittsburgh, I think we have to start paying attention to just based off of the division, not necessarily the rest of the conference, of course, as well. So there's my thoughts on that. All right, Dad, let's get into our picks this week. Each week in the NFL, we pick 6 games. We pick all the primetime games. We pick the early morning games, and then we fill in with just random games from there. So Thursday night, getting ready to kick off here in about 2 hours. We've got the Eagles at the Giants, a division game, which is always a little spooky, in my opinion, especially when you're on the road expected to win, as Philadelphia is this week. Dad, are you taking the Eagles or the Giants?
Well, I was really keeping an eye on this one about the status of Barkley because a fantasy, but I'll go with the Eagles on this. I think they should be able to beat the Giants, but it is a division game, and we'll see how the young quarterback does.
Yeah, I'm going to go Eagles to win, Giants to cover. I think the Giants keep this one close, and if the Eagles make some mistakes, then the Giants win this football game. But I think the Eagles are still just the better overall team. They got to get out of their own heads. They have not looked great. Last week, they didn't run the football. They just threw it, and that's not what they need to do. They need to stay consistent running the football and sprinkling in the pass. I think they get back, right tonight. So I think they do beat the Giants this week. All right, Sunday morning over in London, the Broncos are playing the Jets. The Jets yet to win. The Broncos, they've had their moments where they've looked pretty solid. You go on Denver or New York in this game?
I'm going to go with the Jets. I think,
Whoa.
they've got to come around at some point. The Bengals or the Broncos, they are up and down. They do some good things, and maybe this is just a gut feeling, but I'm going to take the Jets over in London.
Man, I thought I'd be alone on this one, Dad. I'm with you. I'm taking the Jets also. It feels like a win to me. And we all know those gut feelings can never be wrong. So we're going to go with the Jets this week over the Broncos. All right, Lions at Chiefs Sunday night. Detroit looking solid. Kansas City, not as much. Are you going Detroit on the road or Chiefs at home?
Well, I thought I was going to go Chiefs, and then after the game last week, so the Lions seem to be the real thing. The Chiefs could you could obviously at home be. This was a real tough one to pick, but I'm going to go with the Lions. So it's tough for me to pick the Lions, but right now they're playing good football, so.
Yeah, I mean, 2.5 seasons of really good football for Detroit, and you're finally coming around to the fact they could be the real thing. I'm with you, though, on Detroit over Kansas City. Even in Kansas City, that's the only thing that gave me pause. Detroit's the better team at this point. So I'll take Detroit over Kansas City as well. All right, let's go to the Bills and the Falcons. Bills traveling to Atlanta. Atlanta's had some good moments, but Dad, I cannot pick against the Bills this week. So I'm going Bills. Are you going to go upset, or are you taking the road Bills also?
Yeah, I think the Bills will rebound, so I'll go with them also.
All right, easy enough. I think the Falcons are finding themselves another team that has a division that's winnable. Although Tampa's, I think, clearly the best team in that division. There's promise in Atlanta right now, but this week I just don't like it. All right, Bears and Commanders, Dad. Who you going? Last year, the wild ending where the Bears cornerback was taunting the crowd as the Commanders were beating them with a Hail Mary touchdown pass. Will that be repeated? Washington winning. They've got some injuries concerns also. Chicago coming off the bye. Are they going to be ready to get a win this week?
Well, I'm going to go with the Commanders at home. Again, I've seen some, good things with them, and I'm kind of, even on the fantasy end, I'm going to be all in kind of on the Commanders. So hopefully they'll have a good game.
All right. Yeah, I'm not ready to pick the Bears. I'm interested to see. You got a new coach in Ben Johnson. How does he do coming off the bye week? What was his mindset in the bye week? Because there are coaches that they just don't lose coming out of the bye week. They have their prep, they do everything they're able to do, and they come out of the bye week ready to go. I think this is a dangerous game for the Commanders, but I am going to pick Washington. I just don't trust Chicago yet, but Roma Dunze has been playing a lot better. You look at fantasy football, Caleb Williams has been really good there. But no run game. DeAndre Swift's not been great for Chicago. They need to find an answer there. I've heard, Breece Hall, who's on the trade market apparently in New York. I've heard Chicago come up for that name. That would be a huge get for them if they do. But they don't have them this week. So give me Washington this week as well over Chicago. All right, last game that we're picking, Dan. I decided to throw this doozy in there. The Tennessee Titans at the Las Vegas Raiders. And I'm intrigued to get your thoughts on this one. Are you taking Titans or Raiders this week?
Yeah, this was quite the game you threw in there, but we will. I actually really, really thought about the Titans, trying to look about anything positive, but the Raiders being at home, and again, there's some fantasy people I needed to make a move on, so I'm going to be for the Raiders in this one. So
okay, Geno Smith has been horrible. I'm going Titans. I think they get their win this week, another win this week, coming off a big win against Arizona. And that was all because Arizona made tons of mistakes. But Geno Smith has been making tons of mistakes too. So until they make the change to Kenny Pickett, I'm out on the Raiders, which means I'm in on the Titans this week. Give me the Titans to build off of their win last week and get another win on the road in Las Vegas this week. All right, Dad, each week we also do a Soul Survivor pick, Righteous Felon Soul Survivor pick. The Soul Survivor is a flavor of jerky at righteousfelon.com. It's a Korean barbecue flavor. It is so good. My top 3 flavor there. And so our Survivor picks each week are given to you as advice for you to put in your Survivor pool. And as you do it, why not jump over to righteousfelon.com and try the Soul Survivor flavor this week as well. All right, Dad, last week we both went with Detroit, and we both succeeded with that pick. Who are you taking this week as your Survivor pick?
Well, this week, if you want to survive, head to the Midwest and stay with the Indianapolis Colts. playing well, and the Cardinals are a mess, and over the Cardinals. So I'm going to go as sole survivor. I think you'll survive with the Indianapolis Colts.
That's an interesting pick, Dad. They are a 7.5-point favorite. This week was the hardest week for me picking a survivor pick. I don't think there was a clear cut, easy to pick necessarily team. I am deciding to kind of just stick with my plan throughout the season, I suppose, and that's pick against the Saints. So I'm going Patriots this week against the Saints. They've won one game. The Saints have. The Patriots haven't been perfect for sure. This is a hard one. I looked at the Colts also, but I just could not get away from the Patriots over the Saints this week. So I'm going to go Patriots this week. You're going to go Colts this week for your survivor pick, presented by Righteous Felon Jerky's Soul Survivor flavor. Go to righteousfelon.com and use the code SHOW15.
I looked at the Patriots, but again, the Saints are on a winning streak, so I just have to be careful there.
I don't know that one win is a streak, but we'll take it. We'll take it. Saints fans, I'm sure they'll take it too. All right, let's talk about the other games this week. Steelers hosting the Browns. Dylan Gabriel's second start. Steelers 3-1 division game. Pittsburgh 6.5-point favorites. What do you like about Steelers Browns this week?
We'll see. Like we talked about, the Steelers are kind of in a good shape in the division. I've been impressed, though, with Cleveland's defense.
Yeah.
So I think they could make it rough on Aaron Rodgers this week. And it could be a good game because I don't know that, Pittsburgh has put up some points. But again, Cleveland has played good defense against everybody. So we will see.
Yeah, I looked at Pittsburgh for my survivor pick, and there's something about Cleveland that scares me. Quinshon Judkins has been playing really good at running back. The defense has been really solid. Is Dylan Gabriel enough is the question. It was enough to scare me away from the Steelers this week for my survivor pick, but yeah, I would lean that way as far as picking the game goes as well. All right, Chargers travel to Miami. Miami, you talk about a fire going on right now, dumpster fire. The Dolphins are that. The Chargers, though, they're without their top two running backs now. Omarion Hampton going on the IL, but their offense has been pretty solid, even throwing the football this year. They are 3.5-point favorites on the road in Miami. I'm sticking with the Chargers, Dad. I think the Dolphins, you can count them out. Your thoughts on Chargers-Dolphins?
Yeah, I'll stick with the Chargers. That would have been my survivor pick if I hadn't already used the Chargers. So from there, I think that's pretty safe.
All right. We talked briefly about Patriots Saints, Dad. I'm obviously going Patriots. Spencer Rattler's doing enough to not lose the job there, not give the rookie a chance, but I still don't understand why the Saints won't put the rookie in, because what do they have to lose at this point? But do you think the Saints have a chance against New England this week?
Yeah, I think the Patriots again have a chance to be good there in the division. So, it was a good game against Buffalo, so they should easily win this one.
All right, Rams travel to Baltimore. The Rams are 7.5-point favorites. The Ravens, at some point, they've got to get on track, but is Cooper Rush going to be the quarterback again? If so, then you're going, yeah, I'm not sure I want that going on right now. Technically, Lamar Jackson is questionable still for this game. Your thoughts on Rams versus Ravens?
Yeah, I'll pick the Rams in this one again. I think they've been, playing well. Baltimore's had trouble. It is at Baltimore, but I look for the Rams to win this.
Yeah, if Lamar Jackson doesn't play, definitely give me the Rams. Jackson did not practice again on Thursday. Staying home, that's a positive thing for him. He doesn't have to get on the plane and stuff like that. But, man, Baltimore has to find a way to get things right. Colts and Cardinals. Dad already said he's taking the Colts. I will go with the Colts as well. Daniel Jones been really impressive. Jonathan Taylor has been amazing. And the Cardinals have just yet to find consistency for their team. Seahawks travel to Jacksonville, Dad. Two teams that have played well. Jacksonville with the better record. I think Seattle's been playing better football. Seattle is a 1.5-point favorite on the road, and I'm in on the Seahawks this year, so I'm picking the Seahawks. What about you, Dad? Seahawks or Jags?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Jaguars in this one, being at home. And, I think they've played better. This should be a real close game, or could be. But I just got the feeling on this one. I'm going to go with the Jaguars.
Okay. 2 more games to go. Dallas travels to Carolina. The Panthers have had amazing moments so far this season. The Cowboys, kind of same as well. Man, I want to pick the Panthers here, Dad. I can't do it. I just don't think they're good. I'll go Dallas. I know that you can't say anything nice about Dallas. So are you going to go Carolina or Dallas in this game?
Well, I agree with you. I want to pick the Panthers, and I'm going to. So I think there's a good chance they can win this one, and this will be a big game for them.
All right. Final game is the 49ers at Tampa. Buccaneers are beat up. San Francisco's beat up. Mac Jones is the quarterback and playing some incredible football. Perfect fit for the system. Kind of feels like maybe they should have drafted Mac Jones instead of Trey Lance. That being said, Dad, I'll go Tampa at home, 3.5-point favorites. Are you going to go Tampa or San Francisco?
I'm going to go with Tampa. I do like the Mac Jones story, and with everything there. But I think Tampa, again, they are beat up, but I think they're going to rebound a little bit. So I'll go with Tampa at home.
All right, very good. All right, that's everything, Dad. Anything else you want to discuss, football related or otherwise, before we sign off tonight?
No, I think I think we're good. It's going to be a good week in the NFL, and we're ready to go. Again, we're a football show, so we'll stay with that. But the Predators do have their first game tonight, so I have to mention that.
Hockey supposedly is started. So there you go. If you're a hockey fan, sorry, we don't really talk about that because I don't follow it. But yes, we'll get some Predators news here and there throughout the season as well. All right, friends, we'll be back next Thursday with more football talk. Make sure you check out righteousfelon.com to get yourself some jerky. Use the code STOVE15 to get 15% off your purchase. And follow us on social media at Sports Stove. Plenty of content coming out there. And, of course, always check out Belly Up Sports on YouTube, bellyupsports.com on the website for all kinds of information and other shows and programs going on as well. Thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of the Sports Stove Football Show. Until next time, we'll see you around the Sports Stove.